Hello and welcome to an update on my pig experiment. You can see over there I've got 3 pigs in a 10 by 10 moving pen there. Start up the little tractor there and scoot it along. But I did that to kind of, I don't want to say rehabilitate, but we had some struggles with sweet corn this fall. Started out the season very wet, didn't pollinate right, and then ripened really quickly. So had 4 patches through here, from the okra down there all the way to the end here. But this part ended up getting ripe way too quickly. I wasn't able to get much good out of it, so there was a lot of sweet corn left. And here in the middle there was a lot of half pollinated ears, enough that I thought it'd be good to feed some animals on. Ate this down. I took it through at first pass, just pulling the pen right over the stalks, and there's some other videos that show that. They did okay with that. I tried over here chopping the stalks because there were whole ears of dried corn in there. I ran the flail mower, this thing. I got videos of that too. So I ran that flail mower through, and it worked like a hammer mill and chopped up a lot of those cobs. But where it's not a lot of corn and it's not that dry, like this second patch through here where they just finished, I pulled it through, and they seemed to do better having the stalks to chew on. They were still a little green on the stalks, so to chew on that, to get under there, and it held some moisture from day to evening. So we'll see how this all turns out. I've seeded this, so from about there to here, in a cover crop mix. There was a lot of volunteer buckwheat in the row, and I'll show a picture of that too, but it had seeded out. The pigs ate that as well. And I don't know if you can see here, but the volunteer buckwheat is the first to come up. And you can see some of the oats. So in this area, in this section here, it's a mix of chicory, clover, oats, and then I just let whatever's volunteer of the buckwheat come back. So I'm anxious to see how that does. This section is just going to get oats and clover. I'm not sure yet about the chicory. Oh, this has tillage radishes too. So I'm anxious to see how that works out. So we'll take a walk over and see the chicken tractor there. And then we're going to walk out there and see what that looks like. Okay, I had a couple rows of decorative popcorn, flint corn, whatever you want to call it here, and they're at potatoes. Still need to dig a few of those out, but we're about a week out from when I seeded this, and I don't know if you can see that very well, but again, it's the buckwheat that's coming up. I think I put a little bit of buckwheat seed in there. It was a half buckwheat, half oats. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, the oats are coming up. This also has chicory, clover, and radishes with it. There, you can see some of the oats. I like oats. It terminates easy. It's really cool, meaning it's a wider blade and does good, one, to cool. I get a lot of condensation, a lot of dew from the oats, more so than I did with triticale. And then it works really good when it comes up volunteer with whatever I plant in here next. It pulls easy. It's really easy to feed. This patch I didn't till up and have it in anything this season, but you can see it's got some of the clover, and then that broadleaf stuff is chicory, and even some dandelion in there. I really like this. I think for spring I want to get something that'll graze it, because this will come up really thick. I just really like the chicory. And then if I were to work this up, the chicory, where it holds a lot of moisture, so it's like a time release moisture, does really well. It's a lot of organic matter added back in. It'd grow great sweet corn, pumpkins, whatever I decide to put in here. This was sweet corn that I ran the pigs in. Again, you can see the buckwheat coming in first, followed by some of the clover. Some of the oats and then clover. after, I'm still playing with this. This section, after the pigs rooted it up, you can see they left some. I went through this right with the tiller. It needed to be chopped up or something, because the tiller liked to bind and clump on it. So, and I'll show you in the other place. I went through with the flail chopper on this middle part. That's why it looks a little cleaner. Flail chopper, chop that down. And I think I could probably broadcast my seed either before the flail chopping, if we had some rain. It's been dry. We haven't had any rain here. So when I tilled this up, I'd like to flail mow it, spread the seed, and go over it to incorporate with the tiller. When I tilled this, it still had some good moist soil underneath there. And then I've got a packer, a roller, I guess, that presses that in. It does a pretty good job of keeping it from drying out. So I'll show that at some time here. I'm trying to minimize steps here. So ideally, if I wanted to leave all that stubble and residue up top, I could spread the cover crop seed right behind the hog pen there, or in the hog pen, and let it work. But this gives it really even coverage and emergence. I'm anxious to see how this does. All right, again, here's where this was the patch that had the most mature corn in it. Again, that's that buckwheat, and I think this one is volunteer. The volunteer buckwheat is just coming on quick. I see this was not even a week ago, and we got these little plants. So the heat, whatever moisture was in the ground, did well. I have noticed with this much residue, even in the soil, when I come out here in the mornings, it's damp just from the dew. So it's enough, I guess, to get these seedlings going. Okay, these few strips here, this section from there to there, the pigs went through standing corn, and then I flail chopped it pretty fine. Then went through it once with the tiller. I haven't broadcasted anything yet, but that's what it looks like once over with the tiller. I'll broadcast with a hand crank seeder, a mix over here again, so it'll be clover. This will be black oats. It's a wider blade, cooler oat. And I'll also put radishes in there too. But anyway, that's what that'll be. Trying to cut down those steps. I could probably drag a harrow, but I'm going to run the tiller over at a higher speed and just scratch it to incorporate that in. That does a better job, makes it even, covers it, and that roller on the back makes it good. It gives it good cover. I guess it's not splotchy. This I just finished up with the hogs, this patch, and I just flail chopped it, so it goes from residue like that after the hogs have chewed on everything to that. That'll till in better and it won't plug up my tiller. I'm going to broadcast the seed mix on this, walk it on, and then hit it once with the tiller and just be done with it. So we'll see how that goes. This gets black oats too. From here, this, I don't know if you can see this. Let's zoom in here. All right, so I plowed this. This was sweet corn too. This was some of the first stuff. It was drying out, and this was right a day before I decided to get these pigs. So I went through and chopped it green, thinking I would till it in for green manure. It had a fair amount of grass in it, you can see here, in the sweet corn, because I picked it several weeks ago, so that had grown up. I left that lay in a little bit of a straw mat, and it actually held the little bit of rain that we had. So when I plowed it a week ago, and it's not a real deep plow, maybe 4 or 5 inches, the dirt was moist and it crumbled nicely. It had a lot of worms in it. It was mainly just to bury, so the residue and this kind of stuff didn't dry out too much. You can see here, that's after the pigs were fully over in the pen. So the soil's very mellow, not real slabby. You can see some of it's sun-baked there. But once that, I'm going to incorporate the stuff, sprinkle, broadcast the seed over the top here, and incorporate it with the tiller running shallow and fast, and it'll crumble up. These pieces I've got sun-baked, so and once I dig in a few inches on that, there's plenty of worms, and it smells really nice if you like that sort of stuff. A little bit of mildew, a little bit of it smells like a little bit of mold, but that's pretty good. I'll show you here what the pigs are doing with the plowed ground. They're doing a pretty good job of stirring it, breaking it up. That's why I really could just probably pull a harrow. Well, the harrow would clump up quite a bit of this grass, but that's why it's almost quicker just to take the tiller over it. But if I knew we were going to get some rain, I could probably just broadcast the seed on behind them and let the rain do it, or even broadcast it in there and let them stomp it down. So, okay, we're under the netting here, but I don't know if you can see that. They did a pretty good job of stirring that dirt soil, I guess. It's lively medium, but I sprinkled some feed on top, got them going, and they moved the piles and found some treasures of partial ears of corn in there, and hosed it down so it was a little bit moist and cool. Over there, that pig's laying in a spot that I wetted down for it. But yeah, they've been fun. They've been eating the bad tomatoes, or softer tomatoes, that I've pulled out of the tomato row, and just cleaning up quite a bit of stuff. You can see, if I can get this zoomed in here, maybe see those kernels that they found on that was a corn row, so they found some kernels. Looks like they got some tomatoes still in there. So anyway, that's that. Right, boys?